Maddie Levine back here for MMA Island with my good friend Joe Lauzon. How you feeling, Joe?
I am good. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for hanging out with me. I guess we'll start off with that weird knee you have. How's the knee feeling?
So it was doing okay. I hadn't trained a whole lot in the last couple of weeks because I had like basically like a 26-week camp. I had like 6 months because it had been a while before my first fight, since my last fight. So I wanted to have extra time to get ready for the first fight, and it got moved twice.
Right.
So it didn't be like the longest camp ever. So I trained for the first time hard yesterday, and it locked up on me again. So
No way.
I made it through most of training, and it was getting to be like the very, very end. And I just moved it a little bit weird, and it locked up on me. So that was unfortunate. So I don't know. I've had an MRI, I've had an X-ray. My orthos looked at it. I think we're basically at the point where the ortho is not exactly sure, and he sent it out to other people, and they don't really know either. Like it looks completely fine, but it's definitely locking up. So I might try to go to his office and try to get it to lock up, and then have them X-ray it or do something to it to kind of scan it and see what's going on with it while it's locked up. I don't know. I have no idea. It's so weird.
Wow. So you're thinking of making it lock up just so they can see like what it looks like when it's locked up.
Yeah. So I think there's this guy, knees over toes guy, who's on like Instagram, YouTube. Like he's got a lot of followers, like big deal. And he put out a video saying he thinks it's basically the tibial head. So the front of your shin's your tibia. The tibial head is like out of position a teeny little bit, and that's what forces the knee to lock up. So that's what he thinks, and that kind of that coincides with all the experiences that I've had, like all the things that he kind of said. But my ortho was like, if that was happening, I think they'd be more like we'd see like trauma to the bone when we X-ray it. We think we'd see a lot of soft tissue stuff in MRI. And we don't see any of that stuff. I'm not having soreness around it. So he doesn't think that's what it is. But to me, it's like I think that's what it definitely is. And if I could get it to lock up and I could get them to X-ray it, I think they would see that it's out of position a little bit. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can get that done so we can just move on from it.
It's so annoying and so frustrating,
I can imagine. And so did it lock up while training? Like I'm assuming that's pretty painful.
So it's painful when I try to move it. When it's stuck, it doesn't hurt at all. Like in the moment, it doesn't hurt at all. It's whenever I try to move it, but I try to like open it or close it at all, and it's incredibly painful. And I can't even pick my foot up off the ground.
Oh,
it's like gosh. I can't even lift. So it's like because I can't support my own weight. So, but yeah, it was just we're doing jiu-jitsu, MMA. But I was on the ground, guy was in my guard, and he kind of hopped over my legs, and I just tried to turn a little bit, and it locked up on me.
Well, hopefully we can figure that out so we can get you back in the cage. But when it was announced that Bobby Green was out for 276, were you hoping to get that call for the Jim Miller fight?
So I didn't hear that Bobby Green was out until I'd already heard that Cowboy was going to step in.
Okay.
And actually I got a call from Sean Shelby like literally that afternoon. I literally read about the Cowboy thing, and I'm reading, Cowboy steps in to fight Jim Miller, and I'm literally reading the article, and then like 3 minutes later my phone rings and it's Sean Shelby, and I didn't know if it was one of those cases like, oh, maybe Cowboy has not yet stepped in, but he's offered. Maybe they want me to fight Jim Miller, because I read that Cowboy said he'd step in at 170, and it was a little weird to me that Jim Miller was going to fight at 170. Mm-hmm. But no, he was saying if I want to fight someone else like later, and I'm like, no, I'm all set, I'm good. So, it was a little bit weird, like watching the fight. I'm like, this should have been me. This should have been my fight. Like, but
I mean, is that a fight that you'd hope to have in the future, you think?
Yes, kind of. I mean, like if I beat Cowboy, then yeah, I think it makes sense. And now it's like kind of like less motivated for any other fight than the Cowboy fight right now, which kind of sucks.
Right.
And Jim Miller, like it'd be a trilogy fight, but he beat me the first 2 times. I think the second one was like a BS decision, but as far as like marketing it, okay, well, you beat me twice. You can do a third fight. Like it's, so I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm not worried about anything right now. Like I said, we did like a 26-week camp. So at this point, we're going to take it easy for the summer. I'm not going to try and fight anytime soon. And then, come fall, once the nice weather's gone, we'll be back to, same positions before. Give me a name that I like. Give me a date I like. Give me a location I like. If I get all 3, I'll do it. If I don't, then I'm all set.
Your thoughts on Cowboy retiring? Were you surprised at all?
Yes and no. I really thought he was going to try to, grind to get that 50.
Yeah, me too.
I think if the fight had gone better for him, even if he had lost, but if it had gone better for him, I think that, maybe he would have tried to, kind of limp his way there. But no, I'm not surprised. Like I totally get it. When people are less motivated and and it definitely it sucks training as you get older, just because like things pop up quickly. Like it's like Cowboy got sick. I had a problem with my knee. Injuries just don't, like when you're like 21, like it's just like, okay, like you roll your ankle or something like that and you just bounce back and you're good a week later. Now it's just it takes a little bit longer. So I'm not that surprised. But I thought he was going to try to limp his way to 50. I thought he was going to be stubborn about it. I'm glad he's not being stubborn about it. And he's doing the movie thing and all that other stuff. So he's not hurting for money there.
But truthfully, does this feel like it was the fight that got away for you?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like it's like, yeah, like it just like it slipped through my fingers. Like it's just like, yeah, it sucks. Like I'm disappointed, but I also at the same time I know I can't change anything about it. I can't do anything about it. I can't fix it. So I'm not gonna get upset about it. I focus my energy on things I can affect and change, and don't worry about things I can't.
I know you guys have trained in the past together. Do you guys think you're going to be training together at all in the future now that you can't fight each other?
Cowboy. So
yeah.
I did no. So I actually never trained with him in the past.
Oh really? I thought he came to Lauzon.
He did. He and Mickey Gall and Schilling, and they all came out, but I had surgery on my knee like the week before.
This damn knee, man.
And it was legit. It was the same exact thing. I had a meniscus clean out, or I had a meniscus repair that time. So they came and trained at my gym. All my guys trained with them, but I did not actually train with any of them. When I was bummed about it because I didn't know they were coming out. And we did the surgery, and like 2 days after surgery, he texted me, "Hey, can we come train at your gym?" I'm like, "Fuck! I wish I had known. I would have like put off the surgery or rescheduled it or something."
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe at some point we'll see what happens. My dad
like the universe is like, we can't have them be together.
I know, keeping us apart. I know. My dad is like dying. He's like, well, if you're not gonna fight him, maybe we can go to his ranch, because my dad does like the mounted cowboy shooting thing.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? Like basically they ride around on horseback and they have revolvers and they shoot balloons like in a certain order as fast as they can. And Cowboy does that. My dad does that. And my dad's like, oh, maybe we can go out. We can shoot some balloons. We'll see. You hit him up. I'm like, Dad, you gotta stop. Like, maybe we'll see. We'll see what happens. But this is like before the fight happened. He was talking like, well, after the fight, So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That's such a dad move. Like, well, since this didn't work out, maybe we could do something for me.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
That's amazing. Have you been able to talk to Cowboy at all after you realized you guys weren't fighting? Did you give him any well wishes for retirement, that sort of thing?
Not at all yet. I really didn't know what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then I know how I am after a fight. Like I just like being like, you have so many people all trying. Everyone's like, people you haven't talked to in a long time, which is totally fine. Like everyone's texting you like right after the fight.
Right.
So I always try to, anytime I text someone after a fight, I always try to wait like a week or a little bit longer, and then be, hey, great job, whatever, because it's just kind of, it's less crazy right off the bat. It's like, it's crazy. It's like I look at my phone and there's like hundreds of text messages. I might have like 600 text messages after a fight. I'm like, I can't get through all these right now. I'm gonna just put my phone on silent and just not worry about it for a few days.
Yeah. Did you catch the fights last night? Any thoughts on RDA versus Physique last night?
I didn't watch too much of it, but I did watch that. It's just, I think it's one of those things. Just you get new guys coming down the pipe that are just a little bit faster, a little bit a little bit more technical. It's RDA's been around for a long time. Not quite as long as I have, but he's been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just
everybody seemed to be crying early stoppage. I don't know if you saw it, but do you agree, disagree?
So when I watched it live, I thought it was a really early stoppage. I'm like, he was fine. What are you doing? Like, he got dropped, but he was fine. But then they showed the replay, and he got absolutely planted with the follow-up shot. So then I thought it was okay. But I watched it a whole bunch of times. I'm like, I looked a little early. And then I'm like, oh, okay. No, that was a good stoppage. I think it was good.
Yeah, camera angles make a world of difference. That's for sure.
Yep. It's so hard to be a referee. I always say like that's like the hardest job. Like there's a local referee, Steve Rita, who I harass nonstop about stuff, and it's kind of almost like sport for me at this point. The second he missteps at all, I'm up his ass. But but I always tell him like, it's the hardest job for sure. It's like you got to make a split second decision. But it's just I would never want to be a referee. It's so hard. You're always wrong. No matter what.
Even if you're right, you're always wrong.
Yeah, always.
That's so true.
Yep.
Between referees and weathermen, they're always wrong.
Yep.
Any thoughts on who you think will be next for Physique? I mean, he's on such a roll right now, and I think now he's certainly moved up in the ranks after last night. So, any thoughts on who's next for him?
No, I mean, I think that, anywhere like 45ers, 55 or 70 pounders, like you can put anyone against anyone. And it's going to be a great fight. Anyone in the top 10 is always going to be a good fight, So I'm sure he's looking for, someone top 5 or something. I don't know, but he's good, exciting. He's pushed a really good pace, really, really, really fast.
So fast.
And he looked great in the 5th round. Like
Yeah.
in the 5th round, he was so fast. It's like usually these guys slow down a little bit. He looked great. He looked really good.
In your opinion, do you have any favorite fighters or a fighter that you like to watch in the lightweight division that kind of caught your eye or that you see is an up and coming star? Like, are there any fighters in the lightweight division where you're like, yes, that's going to be the next champ?
It sounds weird. I don't watch a ton of the lightweights because like if I'm fighting them, I'm gonna like watch their footage like so much. But it's like, and it's almost like it's hard to be a fan of someone that you might potentially fight, and it's becoming less of a problem now. But there's no one that like really really sticks out. I like anyone that goes for finishes, anyone that's aggressive. Obviously I like any jiu-jitsu guys. But there's no one that's like is crazy, like stands out for me too much.
Who do you think has the best shot at the title next?
I'm trying to pull up the rankings real quick. So I mean, who's the champ we're talking about fighting, right? Because Charles Oliveira is kind of the champ,
right? It's vacant. Technically, it's vacant.
Yeah. So Gaethje's a guy I always like watching. I like watching Beneil Dariush. I think he has an exciting style. He's won his last couple fights. Everyone's talking about Islam fighting, for the title, and Ali's pushing that, and I guess Charles Oliveira doesn't want to fight him, and all this other stuff. So I don't know. Poirier's always great. I mean, like there's so many good guys. Like, I mean, you're looking at like the top like 15. You got Gregor Gillespie, who I think is like super exciting. Been a little inconsistent, but super exciting. Tony Ferguson. Physique is obviously going to move up. He was ranked 8, but it's crazy. It's absolutely nuts.
And you were talking about it's got to be the perfect guy, the perfect matchup. Are any of those names, in your opinion, the perfect matchup?
I don't want to fight any of those guys. I don't want to fight in the top 15, top 10. You know what I mean? Like I think that like the Cowboy fight was a good fight because it was it just we've both had so many bonuses and things like that. It's just I think that was like
two
just
legends
an
going at
fight.
it.
Yeah. I'm not like I don't give two shits about the title. Like I'm not trying to chase that anymore. Like all along I've never really cared about the title. I just cared about individual fights. But I don't know. I don't really know like who would be the perfect fight. Like it would honestly have to be like, okay, they send me a name and then I have to like research that guy and then I would have to see, okay, I like this or I don't like this, and we go from there. But I don't know.
Yeah. Moving forward, it sounds like, we're rehabbing the knee. We're trying to figure that out. But I mean, if all things considered and all things pan out, would you hope for the fall or winter of this year?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely like to do it again. And before we took the Cowboy fight, it had been like a while since I'd fought, and I was like, do I really want to fight again? Like, do I want to do this or not? And then I got super excited about the Cowboy fight, and I shouldn't even say excited, but I was intrigued by the fight and then interested in the fight. And then once we took the fight, like everything started kind of falling back into place because I had been sparring, I had been doing a lot of stuff. Like I'd been like kind of toning everything down, but I picked up the pace on everything. And at that point I was like, okay, I knew I made the right decision to fight again. Like I just like everything was clicking, everything was firing on all cylinders. Everything was good. My wrestling came back super sharp, boxing, everything just came back great. I'm like, okay, no, I should definitely still be fighting. And now it's like, it's like took the wind out of my sails on the Cowboy thing. So like, I just got to be sad about it for a little bit and then we'll get over it. And then we'll just, we'll take it easy for the summer, recharge our batteries, and we'll get back after it. Like I felt like I needed a lot of time to get ready because it had been so long since I had fought and so long since I had been in like fight shape. But I would have been ready in 6 or 7 weeks for sure. Like I push a hard pace and like I was ready to go. Like that was like one of the things like we were talking about during camp. Like we had so much time, but it was like a month and a half out from the first fight. We're 6 weeks out from the first fight, and like I was ready to go. I'm like, I just need the fight to get here. I just need it here now. I don't want to like prolong this because it's just the longer you go through camp of being sharp and peaked and ready, the more chance you have of getting hurt. right? And it's like, how do you level that up? You keep getting guys a little bit bigger, a little bit faster, a little bit better. You know, it's so.
I mean, even to do that long of a camp in your 20s is hard on the body.
Yeah.
You know, it's a long camp.
26 weeks at 37, 38 years old is a little harder. So, so if we're gonna do it again, like we definitely won't need as long of a camp. Like we'll do like the slow burn, and we'll just kind of keep up the strength conditioning, and we'll keep up all that stuff, keep building the gas tank, and then if we take a fight, we'll take a fight and we'll go with it. And if we don't take a fight, we don't take a fight. It's no big deal.
Awesome. Well, thanks for your time, Joe. Recharge those batteries, get that knee better, and hopefully we see you soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.